Here, chapter 10, question number 11. I think we have discussed. Question number 11. Have we discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the next is question number 12, 13, 14, 15. We have already done it. Reflection. Okay. Question number 16, which is find the focal length of a lens of power minus 2D. What type of lens is this? Yeah, in question number 16, the power is given and you have to find out the focal length. Power is given as minus 2D. Yes, power is negative. It means which type of lens it is. We know that the power is negative for a concave lens. So which lens is this? This is a concave lens. It is a concave lens. Why? Because its power is negative. Now let's find out the focal length. We know that focal length is power is reciprocal of the focal length, or you can write down focal length is the reciprocal of power. If the power is in diopters, we'll get the focal length in meters. So 1 upon power is minus 2 diopters. So solving it minus 0.5. This will be in meters. You can convert it in centimeters by multiplying it by 100. So it would be minus 50 centimeters. So the focal length is minus 50 centimeters, or you can write in meters also, minus 0.5 meters. Okay, next question, question number 17. Hurry up, try to do it. A doctor has prescribed a corrective lens of power plus 1.5D. Find the focal length of the lens and is the prescribed lens diverging or converging. Those who have not done, same type, exactly same type. I give you 30 seconds to solve it. You have to find out the focal length. Again, the power is given, but this time the power is positive. And it is asked whether the lens is converging or diverging. We know that convex lens is a converging lens and concave lens is a diverging lens. As the power is positive, it means it is a convex lens, and the convex lens is converging. Yes, done everyone? Here the power is given as plus 1.5D. Okay, first of all, is it converging or diverging? As the power is positive, so it is convex lens, and we know that convex lens is a converging lens. So it is a converging lens. Again, to find out the focal length, we know that power is the reciprocal of focal length. So focal length is 1 upon power, that is 1 upon 1.5. This will be in meters. In order to convert it in centimeters, you can multiply it by 100. So, focal length 1 upon 1.5. First you find out. This will be, hurry up, calculate 10 upon 50. Then we'll convert it in centimeters. 10 upon 15 is 0.67 meters. So the focal length is 0.67 meters, or you can convert it in centimeters or keep it like that, multiplying by 500, then get it in centimeters. So the focal length is 0.67 meters, or you can write down 67 centimeters. Okay, so chapter number 10 we have completed. Reflection, refraction, lenses, everything we have completed along with the questions. Okay, now we proceed to chapter number 11. the human eye and the colorful world. Okay, in this chapter, due to COVID-19, CBSE has deleted this part, the human eye, power of accommodation, the defects of vision and its correction. All these things have been removed by, deleted by CBSE only for this particular year. Okay, as 30% of the syllabus is reduced, so this part is deleted. Okay, but it will come in your competitive exam. So we are going to study this part, but after the main part. Okay, now here the left part is from page number 191. Refraction of light through a prism. Okay, we'll start from here. Then atmospheric refraction is there. After these two parts, then we'll come back to human eye and then we'll study that also. Okay. First, whatever part is there in the CBSE, we'll start from that. So here we start from refraction of light through a prism. Okay, through a glass slab, we have studied in the previous part. Now here, refraction of light through a prism. So the first topic is refraction through prism. Okay, now what is a prism? Like in a glass slab, we have seen that there are two refracting surfaces. The incident ray falls on one of the refracting surface and emerges through the other opposite side of refracting surface.
मान्या, अपन को कॉपी में कोई भी क्वेश्चंस नहीं करने.
Here also there are two refracting surfaces, but these two refracting surfaces are not parallel. Whereas in case of a glass slab, we have seen that AB and CD are the refracting surfaces. These two refracting surfaces are parallel to each other. But in case of a prism, the two refracting surfaces are not parallel to each other. The two refracting surfaces AB and AC, these are the two refracting surfaces. They are meeting at an angle, and this angle is called as the angle of prism. Angle A here is called as the angle of prism. So it is made up of a transparent material like a glass. So it is made up of glass in which the two refracting surfaces are not parallel. They are meeting at an angle. Okay, and this angle is called as the angle of prism. Okay, it's not a triangle. It is a three-dimensional figure. So it has two triangular faces. Okay, like here ABC, you can see one of the triangular face and the other triangular faces behind it. And there will be three, which type of surfaces? Rectangular faces. These three will be the rectangular. The front one is the triangular face. Okay, then the whole thing AC, AB and this BC. These are going inside. So these are the rectangular faces and behind you will find one more triangular face. So it is made up of a transparent material in which the two refracting faces are not parallel to each other. They are meeting at an angle A, and this angle A is called as the angle of prism. So it has got three rectangular faces and two triangular faces. Okay, one of the triangular face in the front you can see, one is behind it. Okay, and there are three rectangular faces. Okay, now let's read it here. What is given in the book? You should keep your book along with you. Okay, page 191. For parallel refracting surfaces, as in glass slab, the emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. However, it is slightly displaced, which we call it as the lateral displacement. How would the light get refracted through a transparent prism? Consider a triangular glass prism. It has two triangular bases and 3 rectangular lateral surfaces. So there are 2 triangular faces and 3 rectangular faces. These surfaces are inclined to each other. The angle between the 2 lateral surfaces is called as the angle of prism. Okay, now let us do an activity to understand the refraction through a prism. Okay, so you may write the heading refraction through a glass prism. Okay, refraction through a glass prism. Here we are studying the glass prism. So write the heading refraction through a glass prism. Write down a prism is made up of transparent material like glass, which has 3 rectangular surfaces and 2 triangular surfaces. Write down the refracting surfaces. The refracting surfaces are AB and AC. Which meet at an angle A. This angle is called as angle of prism. This angle is called as angle of prism. Okay, so we have studied what is a prism. Okay, made up of any transparent material. Here, which one? Glass. As we are studying the refraction through a glass prism, so it is made up of glass, and it has 3 rectangular surfaces and 2 triangular surfaces. Okay, and the 2 refracting surfaces are AB and AC, which are not parallel to each other, which are meeting at an angle A. And this angle A, we call it as angle of prism. Okay, now let's study how the refraction takes place through this. Okay, experiment will study later on. Let this is the ray which is incident on one of the refracting surface AB. Okay, let us name this ray as PE. Let PE is the incident ray. Okay, now this ray is passing from air to glass. What is the medium here? Air. What is the medium here? Glass. Okay, so it is passing from air to glass, and we know that glass is denser to air. Glass is denser to air, and whenever a ray of light passes from a rarer to a denser medium, which side does it bend? It bends towards the normal. We have already studied in refraction that a ray of light passing from rarer to denser medium will bend towards the normal. So here let's draw a normal at point E on the AB face. So on the AB face at point E, we are drawing one perpendicular, which we call it as the normal. Let this is the normal. Okay. This is the normal that is perpendicular to AB face. At which point? At the point E. Okay, now this ray, as it is going from rarer to denser, it will bend towards the normal. Okay, this ray will not go straight, will not bend away. This is the normal. So it will bend towards the normal. So this ray of light bends towards the normal. And the ray which is traveling inside, let us name this point as F. This ray which is traveling inside, this ray is called as the refracted ray. This ray we call it as the refracted ray. Okay, now this ray will not stop here, as it will again move from one transparent to other transparent medium. Now this ray of light is moving from denser to the rarer medium, glass to air. Okay, so again at point F, we draw one more perpendicular to the AC face. So we draw one more perpendicular to the AC face at point F. This is also the normal to the surface AC. Okay, now this ray of light, as it is going from denser to rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. It won't go straight. It will not bend towards the normal. It will bend away from the normal. And this ray, F is this ray of light, we call it as the emergent ray. Why? Because it is again emerging back into the air. So it is called as the emergent ray. So this is how the refraction takes place to a prism. PE is the incident ray. Okay, at this point E, we draw one perpendicular to the AB surface. This we call it as the normal. Now the incident ray which is traveling from rarer to denser, air to glass, it will bend towards the normal. So the ray which is traveling inside the prism is called as the refracted ray. Okay, and this ray now will move from denser to rarer medium, so it should bend away from the normal. So for that we need the normal. So we draw one normal that is perpendicular to the AC face at which point? At the point F. Okay, now this ray will not go straight, will not bend towards the normal, it will bend away from the normal. So this ray Fs, we call it as the emergent ray. It is emerging back into the air. Now let's study the angles. This angle between the incident ray and the normal, we call it as angle of incidence. So this is the angle of incidence. Here between the refracted ray and the normal, let it is R1 and we call it as angle of refraction. Let this angle is R2. Okay, let this angle R2, it will not be equal to R1. Only in one special case it will be equal to R1, otherwise it will not be equal to, like in the case of glass slab we have seen that R1 and R2 both are always equal. Here R2 will not be equal to R1, so let this angle is R2. Okay, and this angle between the emergent ray, we call it as the angle of emergence. So these are the angles and the rays we have discussed. Okay, in case of glass slab, we have seen that the incident ray is parallel to the emergent ray, but not here, not in this case. If you extend the incident ray forward and the emergent ray backwards, here we see that they meet at a point. Let us name this point as G. They meet at a point G. The acute angle formed between them, this angle, the acute angle, is called as angle of deviation. This acute angle which is formed is called as the angle of deviation. Okay, that is the emergent ray is deviated from the incident ray. Whereas in case of a glass slab, okay, the angle of deviation, the incident ray and the emergent ray were parallel to each other. So there was no angle between the incident ray and the emergent ray. But here, as the incident ray and the emergent ray are meeting at a point, so this acute angle formed between them, we call it as angle of deviation. Okay, so these are the rays and the angles. So first you will draw the figure. As I draw it, you draw along with me. So first draw so that there is no confusion. Draw one of the face of the prism and name it as ABC. Drawn. Now on the AB face, draw one ray and name it as PE. Draw the ray PE. Now at point E, you will draw one perpendicular. Draw one the AB face. Wrong. Okay, now this ray of light, you will bend towards the normal. This is the normal, so this ray should bend towards the normal and make this point as F. Drawn. Okay, now at this point F, we'll draw one more normal that is perpendicular to the AC face. So draw one perpendicular to the AC face at point F. Okay, now this way you will bend away from the normal and name it as Fs. Name it as Fs. Now mark the angles. This angle between the incident ray and the normal, write it as I, which is the angle of incidence. Between the refracted ray and the normal, write it as R1, angle of refraction. Okay, between the refracted ray and the other normal, write it as R2. This also we call it as angle of refraction only. Between the emergent ray and the normal, write it as angle E, called as the angle of emergence. Written. Now extend the incident ray. The extended rays are always shown by dotted lines. Extend the incident ray and also extend the emergent ray backwards. Where they meet, write the point as G as it's given in the book. So we'll mark the same point G. We'll name it as G only. Okay, now this acute angle formed between them. Okay, there is one obtuse angle also. Which one? Acute angle. Write it as angle D, which we call it as angle of deviation. Okay, now write the rays. PE is the incident ray. EF is the refracted ray. Fs is the emergent ray. Now write the angles. Angle I, angle of incidence. Angle R1, angle of refraction. Okay, angle R2 also we call it as angle of refraction, but here write it only R1. Angle E, angle of emergence. And angle D, angle of deviation. Write all the angles and all the rays. Then you'll write 2-3 lines about it, how the refraction is taking place. Write all the rays, all the angles. Written. Okay, so below the figure you will write down. Let PE is the incident ray. Let PE is the incident ray. Which bends towards the normal, inside the glass inside the glass, and EF is the refracted ray, and EF is the refracted ray. Write down. The refracted ray now passes from glass to air. Now passes from glass to air. So bends away from the normal. So bends away from the normal and emerges as EMERGES and emerges as FS and emerges as FS. So FS is called as the emergent ray. Write down the angle formed between the incident ray and the normal. The angle formed between the incident ray and the normal is angle I, called as angle of incidence. Write down the angle between the refracted ray and the normal. The angle between the refracted ray and the normal, R1, angle R1, is called as angle of refraction. And the angle of emergence is formed between emergent ray and the normal. Write down when the incident ray is extended forward, and the emergent ray extended backward, they meet at a point G. Capital G. The angle formed between them, that is angle D is called as angle of deviation. Write down. So the angle of deviation is formed between the incident ray, is formed between the incident ray and the emergent ray. Okay, now there is one experiment based on this press. So this experiment we'll study in the next class, that is tomorrow. Now